we all have magical gifts. Magical for me has a K in it. We're not pulling doves out of sleeves or handkerchiefs from behind your ear. Magic is the spirit of the universe in you when it has a K on the end of it. It's the spirit it's your soul. It is you, right? So you have gifts that you came into this life with because you are here to help people.
Welcome to the We Ain't Normal podcast, where each week we share the best tools to help neurodiverse moms navigate life so you can enjoy more flow, focus, and freedom to live your best life yet. And now, here's your host, Charmaine Fuller.
Are you feeling buried under a list of things to do that seem to have no end in sight? Do you feel like if you slow down or stop, things will fall apart? Are you feeling like you're consistently missing the mark or dropping the ball in the most important areas of your life? Well, that's why the Simplify My Schedule workshop was created. Simplify My Schedule is designed to help you uncover the secret to creating a schedule that keeps you focused and in flow. Simply. To learn more, go to thecharmedlife.me/workshop and sign up for the next workshop session. I'll see you there. Hey everybody, what's up? And welcome back to the We Ain't Normal show. This is a space where moms that think different and have quirks can feel seen, heard, and supported. Today, I am with Daphne Wells. So I saw Daphne's stuff online. She applied to be a guest, and as the universe would have it, here Daphne is. Daphne is an awesome. She works with midlife women to help them create the joy and space in their life to have that ease and flow that we all want, right? To create that ease and flow we all want. She also, which really made me geek out because I dabble in numerology. So, and just, we're going to kind of touch on how your numbers, because this, for me, it's true, how your numbers impact how you even begin to plan. Like all of this stuff is connected, guys, and how it can even impact how you sometimes feel motivated, why on some days you just are and you aren't. And yeah, because I'm into all that geeky stuff. Daphne, tell us a bit about who you are, how you serve, and just share.
Thank you. I'm so thrilled to be here. Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, I love the fact that you are on the same page as me over this. You know, that we are all different, that we all are one of my really core beliefs is that we all come into this world as unique individuals.
Yes.
With our own energetic DNA, which I can calculate and read through numerology. We have our physical DNA that we see. What we're not aware of, most of us, of it, is our energetic DNA. And that defines who we are and how we function, how we best do what we do in the world.
Yes, it's that blueprint. What I've learned are those numbers are that blueprint, and just how accurate they are when you read things. It's so cool. And so when we talk about it from a space of motivation, let's talk about, there are going to be some days you're just going to be more motivated than not. And I think women specifically, because of the system that has been built, we feel like we should be on and popping 24/7, 365, right? When in actuality, not only because of our natural biorhythms, you know, your moon cycle or whatever else, you have that going on, but you also have these underlayers that are at play. I mean, you have the astrology underlayer, you have the, you know, you have your, whatever your life pattern number, like you have all of these pieces in play. So speaking to women about finding those times, like how do you stay motivated? How do you keep yourself focused and in alignment with your life and the things that you want to accomplish?
So for me personally, really knowing my purpose and my vision for my life, my reason for being alive. And you're talking about the core, like your birth code in numerology that you know, which is that number that we have. We all, and that is like there are layers upon layers upon layers to that as well. That really, are you motivated from your head? Are you motivated physically? Where is your balance in your body? Where are you on your grid, your emotional, your energetic grid? We have planes of emotions. So we have our physical plane, we have our emotional plane, we have our mental plane, and we have our spiritual plane. Where are you dominant? Because you're going to need to figure that. Once you figure that out, you then know that's important for you. So if you're dominant on the physical plane, you're going to need to be physically active every day, throughout the day. You're not going to be able to sit at a desk all day. If you're like me and dominant on the emotional plane, even as a young child, I would question when my mother told me to do something. I'd be like, well, why do I need to do that? What's the point? What I realized when I understood my energetic DNA, my numerology, is that I am dominant on that emotional plane. I need to have a really good reason to do anything, or there's no point. I'm not going to put any energy into it. I'm not going to do anything for the sake of doing it. And that was kind of squashed and controlled as a child. And I was punished, of course, when I didn't do what I was told to do,
Right. And I think a lot of us are squashed and punished for, I don't know, but just definitely squashed for not coloring inside the box or coloring inside the lines. And I think a lot of us, many, especially as women, and most of my audience is mothers, you had your child at a space when you're still trying to figure out and untangle all the mess from childhood. So you have that compacted with being a mom now and trying to figure out this little human. And, it just kind of builds to where you're not living, but you're existing.
Yes.
And so you don't feel motivated, right?
And we get to that point, don't we? I remember, one thing I really remember very strongly, I have 4 children, and in amongst the parenting of them and the marriage that brought them into the world, I realized that this marriage was not going to last. And so this vision that I had of, happy family, us raising children together, was not sustainable, was not something I could hold on to as a purpose for mothering, right? So I had to then figure out who I was as a mother and what was my purpose in mothering. What did I want to achieve for my children that I knew I could have input into positively every day and keep me motivated, keep me, on the days that were difficult, because in amongst a crumbling marriage, it is difficult raising children with purpose and wanting to make sure that they ended up being more fully functional adults than I had when I left home at 16, and so that for me was really foundational. That again, that was for me, that was that reason why am I doing this? What's the purpose in this, right? And for me, I've learned, and for my clients also, that it's really important to have that reason why you're doing things. And we can go through all the programs we like, all the systems we like, and try to fit in and try and, do all the brainstorming and all the journaling and figure it out. And yet it's in your energetic DNA.
Yeah. That was one of the things that I discovered when I did my numbers. Feeling like life is going so fast that if you slowed down, it would all fall apart. If you always feel like you're going somewhere but never getting anywhere good, the Simplify My Schedule workshop is just what you need to get life back in flow. To learn more, go to thecharmedlife.me/workshop to sign up for the next workshop session. I'll see you there. Now,
back to our show.
And when I read through what each of those numbers stood for, and I'm still learning, it's like, oh my gosh, like, you know, when you're a child and like you're totally connected to spirit and you're totally connected to your intuition and just life. It's like, no wonder I could manifest things so fast. But then life happens and you forget, you disconnect from your own power.
Yes.
And so then life feels really hard and you feel like this is impossible. As I begin to reconnect to that, shit gets easier. And I'm not working as hard. And it's like, what? And it's like, you know, that V8 commercial where they popped upside the head. It's like, oh my gosh, like this isn't woo-woo crazy talk. Like it's actually a good blueprint for me to connect back to, you know, as I journey. And yeah, it helps me to stay motivated because I know I have it in me. So if I know I have it in me, then whatever I'm going for, as long as it connects and aligns with how I want my life to be, then it's a no-brainer. And I'm loving this space.
Absolutely. And here's the thing. We come into the world with our own energetic DNA. We are then in the first 7 years of life. We know from a human development perspective, we're sponges. We absorb everything and anything and believe it is true. And then we go into that late childhood, adolescent, teenage era where we're trying to, we just want to fit in. We just want to be like everyone else. And so we lose so much. And then, as you said before, we become mothers and amongst that, you know, young adulthood. And then we hit, you know, so you said midlife woman I work with. Now, numerologically, that occurs generally between 39 and 65 years of age, somewhere in there, because there are cycles and there are so many cycles of energy that are happening in our lives that, you know, go through and through, and the energy changes, right?
Every year.
So for us personally, our energy changes. We have in amongst our year from birthday to birthday, because we carry our own energetic bubble. Aside from the universal energy that you'll see when you follow me on social media, my what's happening today energetically, we have our own energy bubble as well that carries our lifetime energy, but also with changes day to day as well. And as we can forecast that, it means that we can really live our lives aligned with the energy that the universe is sending us. On top of your birth code, the numbers, you also have a birth card under Book of Life Egyptian numerology, which is essentially your purpose, your job description for life. And in there is the energy of your soul's journey through this life. And when you discover that, it's another layer of powerful on top of what you've already discovered for yourself, you know, because it really gives that energy to why you are here, the job, the role that your soul raised its hand for and said, yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah.
You know,
yes.
And it's so magical when you know all of that and can really lean into it. That's when you really belong in your own energy and you don't ever want to fit in. You don't ever want to try and push and mold yourself to fit in and be like anyone else, because you feel so complete in yourself.
So I kind of got lost in just what you were saying and just the energy of everything, because I so feel that, because around my late 30s, I'm like, what in the hell am I doing? Because my kids were starting to get older, and now you start to begin to see like, okay, this is not what I envisioned. I lost my vision. I lost my purpose. I lost myself. And so having those pieces, like, I don't know if the ladies are getting it and what this has to do with motivation. It has everything to do with motivation. That's why this season I have a wide variety of speakers, because all of this is so connected. Like, it is so connected to how you engage with and interact and how you be in the world, that it's not even funny, right?
It's so powerful, because once you get that, you're on fire.
Yeah.
You know, I have clients come to me, women come to me, and they're like, in that era, 39 onwards, and they're like, well, what am I doing with my life? Like, it's just nothing they've done up until then is satisfying them anymore. They might have a job that they love. It's just not doing it anymore. The children are, not little, not that demanding physically anymore. And so what am I going to do with my life? We all have magical gifts. Magical for me has a K in it. We're not pulling doves out of sleeves or handkerchiefs from behind your ear. Magic is the spirit of the universe in you when it has a K on the end of it. It's the spirit it's your soul. It is you, right? So you have gifts that you came into this life with, that you are here to share with the world. And when you become aware of what they are, and then most of the women who come to me, I then help them make that a business. Because you are here to help people. And when you're working a job and giving your gifts away for free in your spare time, you're limiting the number of people you can help.
You're limiting your purpose as well.
Yes, you're limiting yourself. When you allow yourself to receive energy for the energy you're giving, and money is just energy, right?
Everything is energy,
isn't it? And so, when you do that, you help more and more people, and those ripples that you create by helping that one person get to go further and further and further, right? And it's so exciting, because then women actually, my clients actually are living their purpose daily. And like you said, when you are doing that, everything happens with less effort.
Yes.
It doesn't feel like work.
And that's because, I know you've heard of the law of least effort. And when I first heard of that law, I'm like, what in the hell does he mean, least effort? Like, I have to put effort in everything that I do. And it's not saying that you're not adding any effort. It's just saying that it almost feels effortless. Like, I do the podcast and I speak because it's effortless to me. I love having these conversations. This is something I absolutely adore doing. For years in my business, I was trying to be like everybody else, have a coaching program, have this, have that. And I burned out each and every time. I was miserable. I was making great money, but I was burned out and just resentful. Right?
And this is what happens when we're doing stuff that isn't aligned with our energetic DNA. It's not sustainable. And so we can work hard for a while, we can make great money, we can have the success that we want, and then we're going to hit a brick wall because it's going to become too much for us. We can't sustain it. When we really do what is energetically aligned for us, we can keep doing it. And it does feel like work, and things happen more. We achieve more in less time with less effort.
How do you suggest women start to find that energetic alignment, especially when life is messy and noisy? Where's the first place you would send them?
One place I would send them first is I have a free gift that helps you ascertain your birth code that you can get from Gift for Daphne. That gives you a really toed up in. Another really practical thing you can do is your values. What's important to you? And not just word. How do your values, when you identify them, how do they show up in your life?
Oh.
One of my top values is courage. Now, for me, that means that I have the courage to do to go forward bravely aligned with my values and beliefs. So I can do whatever needs done with courage when it's aligned. Not walking anybody else's path, I'm walking my own. And that's how courage shows up. Is it aligned? Is this thing that I'm being asked to do, speaking on Charmaine's podcast, is it aligned with my values and beliefs? Yes, it is, because it's sharing what I believe is important with women who are open to hearing it. So it's aligned.
And I will have to definitely second that. One of the books that I read was Danielle Laporte's Desire Map.
Mm-hmm.
And I had never thought about creating, before then, I had never thought about creating my life from a space of how I wanted it to feel and creating those values from, okay, so how do you want this area of your life to feel? And what does that look like for you? And if you were operating in that space, what would you be doing? And so often we don't think about that because it's like, what's next? Let me check this off. Let me check that off. And we don't connect to that inner spirit. So the first thing is definitely grab Daphne's free gift. Everything will be at the bottom. But getting in touch with your values, figuring out what those are. And I would say flow with it, because I had to flow with it. It took me a couple of weeks to do it because it would just kind of get these inspiration, spurts. And it's not going to be like you sit down for a weekend in a room with blinders on and it comes to you. Like it might, but if you've been disconnected for so long, like I was, it's not coming in a weekend, girl.
It's not
coming in a weekend. And giving yourself space and grace to know that you're not going to fix it in one weekend. It's going to take time.
And giving yourself permission to try it on.
Yes, you don't have to stick with those values. Try them out. See how they feel. What are they doing for you?
Like I know for me, if I dial back, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, when I first, came up with a list of values, honesty and integrity and words like that were on it back then, and now I'm like, they are givens for me.
Right.
They are non-negotiable. So therefore they aren't in those top 3 values. They're almost like it's a given. Once you have them, I found that they do turn into like new standards for your life. And then you reassess to see what's next and you move forward. Yes. And also another thing that ladies can do who are listening is, if you have something you want, a goal, right? You want something, whether it's for you or your family or whatever, it's not about the material thing. It's actually about having an intention. How do you want to feel when you've achieved that? That's your intention. Goals come from your head. Intentions come from your heart and your soul. How do you want to feel? It's that feeling that's going to keep you committed to the actions that it takes.
Yes, feeling is everything. Is that like I think that's a book. Neville Goddard. Feeling is the Secret, I think is the name of the book. Feeling is the secret, and feeling into things. And so often in this society, feelings are made to feel like it's a waste of energy, right? Like, who cares how you feel? Just do it. And I have found, I was talking to another guest about this, is that even in the things in life that are challenging or hard, as long as I attach the feeling that I want to have at the end, or the intention of how I want to treat others in that situation, as long as I'm holding that intention, that I can take something that, like you said, 5-10 years ago, I would have been moaning and complaining through the whole thing. But when I connect that intentionality to it, it could have been something that wasn't on my list of easy things to do, but I at least made it joyful.
Yes. How can I make this fun? How can I make it a game?
Yes.
If we can turn things into a game and into fun, those hard things become less hard.
And you become more connected to the present moment because you find yourself looking for ways to enjoy. And ladies, we want you to know, like, the suggestions we're giving take intention, awareness, and practice. You know, like we said earlier, this is not going to be a weekend journey. Like, you're going to have to get in and either connect with Daphne or any one of my guests to dig into these parts, because I don't know about you, but I needed accountability and support when I went on this journey. Like, I couldn't do this work alone. There were too many distractions. There was too many belief systems and paradigms that I had blocked up in the way. And I needed somebody to call me out on my BS in a way that was loving and supportful.
Even now, I have a coach. Like,
yeah,
you know, because here's the thing, we can't see our own blind spots. Nope. We need someone, as you said, to call us out, to hold us accountable, because it's so easy to make excuses to yourself, isn't it?
I won't do that workout today because, you know, I've had a really long day. And so, you know, my body understands. And like having the accountability of like my husband for that. And he's like, but you said this was your goal, so you can have like less joint pain and you could feel more energized. And it's like, yeah, that's what I want. Like someone to just help you remind. And I want to say this because I've had some really interesting experiences. Finding a coach or a therapist that can motivate you from a space of love and support. I think we need to get over feeling like we need to be yelled at to be motivated. Like, let's begin to understand that someone can speak to you softly and with warmth and still have the best intentions. Like, can we move on?
Like your husband did to you. This is how you want to feel. This is why he was essentially reminding you of why you're working out. Excuse me, why working out is important to you. Because you want less joint pain. You know, like, why would you not go and work out when he lovingly reminds you of that?
And that shows that other person cares really about your win.
Yes. And I mean, that is what a coach, this is what I as a coach do. I'm sure you do as well. And there are other coaches out there who do. When you are looking for support, what I've learned as well is making sure I find someone who really is aligned for me.
Yes.
And I always look for that in potential clients as well. You know, it's not about when somebody hops on a call with me to see if we want to work together. It's not just them sussing me out. I'm sussing them out to see whether we're aligned.
I do not want this conversation to end. I am sad.
Get to choose.
I am kind of sad like that I only chose 20 minutes. I might do something different next season because these conversations get so juicy and so they're needed. They're so needed for women to begin to free themselves from the linear way of thinking about how life is supposed to be. And I really want to thank you for sharing your energy with me in this and hopefully we've opened up somebody's mind to like a new way of seeing how they can motivate themselves and master their energy, right? Not just your time, not just your money, but like you said earlier, energy, like we said, energy is everything, right?
Yes.
And once you master your energy and stay in alignment with that, the sky is beyond the limit. It's the starting point. Like the sky will be your starting point. You can just accelerate from there. Daphne, where can they find you in these social media streets? And we already have your free gift that's going to be at the bottom in the show notes.
Yeah, so my website, daphnewells.com. I'm on Facebook, I'm on LinkedIn, and I'm on Instagram.
Yay. And they can just find you at Daphne Wells on all of those?
Yes.
Cool. I love it when my guests make it easy. Daphne, thank you so much again for this today. It was a pleasure. I am happy I'm learning how to read energy through these internet and social media videos.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been such a fun conversation.
This has been wonderful. Ladies, remember to rate, review, subscribe, and thank you so much for allowing us to pour into you today. Remember, stay weird, and I will catch you next episode. Thanks for listening to the We Ain't Normal show. Remember to rate, review, and subscribe so that other neurodiverse moms can feel seen, heard, and supported in their journey. Until next time, remember, stay weird. And I'll see you on the next episode. Coming up next time on the We Ain't Normal show.
is our brains, how it works is if we've been in an experience when we were young that feel unsafe, and our brain learns for survival that situation is unsafe, and it clicks on this fight flight response. So to face a situation with that whole experience and do the opposite, which normally is going to create a drop in your dopamine levels, it's going to create all the things that you're not being told to do or naturally do. It can be very, very hard.
Want more of this episode? Make sure your podcast notifications are on and you're a part of the We Ain't Normal family by going to thecharmedlife.show to get weekly podcast updates and notifications. I'll see you there.